Is this in focus? I think so. Right, so you want to learn how I learnt Spanish. Here's the deal. Hello and welcome to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Michael Shagan Carter and I do videos about Spanish, self-improvement and generally how to be more productive when learning a language. Now today I'm going to be talking about how I learned Spanish. Now this has been a real journey for me. When I first started I thought, right, it'll be easy, I could be fluent within maybe a year or so. How? Boy was I so wrong. So initially when I first started learning Spanish, I was just learning a few words here and there and I thought I could put them together. That was not the case. When you do realize you have to learn conjugation, pronouns, certain all grammar really, that you may not necessarily learn in your mother tongue, you start to think, right, this is gonna be a lifelong process, and that's what it is so far. So I'm around 2 years into my journey, and one key thing that I can say that really did help me was to actually speak it. It's actually having an in-depth conversation with someone, and I didn't know what avenue or how I would even find someone to actually try and speak Spanish with. I came across a website called italki, and this website helps you find what we call intercambios, and that's basically just a language exchange partner. So for someone like myself wanting to learn Spanish and my native language is English, I would find someone wanting to learn English and we would do 30 minutes speaking in Spanish and then 30 minutes speaking in English. And that way we're both benefiting from each other, learning from each other, and I found this was just absolutely beneficial for me. And I remember the first time me doing it, I was absolutely petrified. I was worried that the person wasn't gonna turn up, or they wouldn't understand me, or they'll be thinking I'm like, who is this person trying to learn Spanish? They can't even put two words together. But after a while you start to get a bit more comfortable, and this is the one thing I say that really accelerated my learning growth. Before I kind of just stuck to studying actual books and doing exercises and not trying to actually speak as much and thinking to myself, right, when I finish studying all these books, I can start to speak, but that's not the case. And what I found worked best was when I basically finished a particular subject, for example, qual versus que, I would actually put that into practice in my intercambio session with my exchange partner and try to utilize whatever I've learned within that 30 minutes. So that was how I started to learn. And also one other aspect that did help me was trying to implement some sort of Spanish learning every single day, whether that may be reading, writing, or listening to something. When I wake up in the morning, more often than not, I always like to listen to something in Spanish, whether that may be some Spanish news or a podcast or a YouTube video. Just something in the morning just to stimulate my learning process, aprendizaje as they like to say in Spanish. And that's just something personally I like to do in the morning. On the way to work, I put on a Spanish podcast. When I'm walking anywhere or in the car, a Spanish podcast. And that's something that I can do myself that's utilizing what I call the golden hours, where ordinarily you'd waste just, as I said before, driving to work, on the train, walking to the bus stop, whatever it may be. Try to utilize those golden hours to listen or read something on the train. So that's what I found really worked for me. Another aspect that really helped for me was really changing my mind process. You can either approach language learning from two different angles in my opinion. Right, this is just a hobby and I'm gonna do this maybe once every week, or you're really gonna dive in at the deep end and really take charge of your learning process and actually trying to learn and speak every day. And it starts to become a kind of obsession. I remember when I was really heavily into the gym, I would go every single day. My whole life was structured around my eating, sleeping correctly, what exercises I'll be doing for the week. And the way I see it, why is this any different to learning a language? So What I mean by that is actually having some structure to your learning process, whether that may be a course that you've bought or a book where you decide to focus on a particular subject each week. And you really do need some structure and changing your mindset in order to tackle this language learning process, because you get many people, I see it in my class, whenever people start, they really strong for the first 2 weeks, and then after like a month or so they start to realize the sheer mountain that they need to climb in order to reach their goal. And this mountain, when you start learning, it can be it's inconceivable, the mountain, when you start realizing what you've taken on, and you think, right, I've learned conjugation, for example, and then you come across another thing, maybe subjunctive, and that's another thing. So then it's just like there's always a hurdle to tackle in terms of language learning. So at the moment, as it stands now, I'm more or less at a B2 level. I recently found that out after coming back from a trip, and I'll pop a link in the description for either up here or down here for you guys to see. And that really was self-enlightening, and I would recommend you watching that if you're considering going to Spain to study. So there you have it, guys. I hope you liked this video. I would like to learn how you learned Spanish or any other language that you're learning. Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.